Thank you, listeners, for joining us for Wednesday's Elko Live here on KELK. Now, we're going to catch up on some Elko County news and issues today. Janet Iribarne is here, and she is our Elko County Assessor, and she is here on behalf of Elko County. And Janet, what a pleasure to welcome you back in studio here at KELK.
Yeah, hi, Lori. Hi. Thanks for having me back.
Yep, absolutely. There's some important deadlines that we want to mention, and of course, talk about what the assessor does for Elko County. It is an elected position. It is a highly honorable and respected position, Janet, that comes with a ton of responsibilities, and I know how much you appreciate your staff. And if you want, we can kind of start with that, talking about, you know, your staff and your office and how you accommodate the public.
That would be great. Yeah, here in Elko County, we work at the Elko County Courthouse, and we're down in the courthouse complex. We are in the annex building, and we take up the first and second floors. You generally will walk into the first floor, and on that floor we have our personal property division and our partial exemption division for veterans, widows, blind, and we take care of the mobile homes, the mobile home titles down on this floor. And yeah, we have you'll be welcomed by the Deputy Assessor, Dennis Dierietis. It's right in front when you walk in the door, and he can direct you and take care of your problems to the appropriate place that you need to be. The second floor, we also have the second floor where the real property division and our GIS and our property records are handled. So if you have any questions regarding property records or GIS mapping, and or some real property, your real estate assessment, that's on the second floor.
Thank you, Janet. Of course, that Elko County Courthouse Annex is located just on Court Street, right behind the main Elko County Courthouse on Idaho Street. So it's a very nice building. It's hard to believe I guess it's getting close to 20 years old or something like that. It's had some mechanical issues lately.
Lori, yes, it is. It's getting older. It's at 30 years
It's
now.
30 now? I can't believe that.
Count it back, and the age life of some of the components are
being tested.
Yes, being tested, and I think things are getting back on track. So that is a wonderful feeling to have the building working again, almost. I think the elevator is still not operational at this point, but they've been in to check on it and order the parts and get that ready for everyone. I can actually mention that at the moment the clerk's office has been in and out of the Nanini building, where the manager's office is, because the elevator's been out and also the air conditioning was out. So going up to the third floor without the elevator, it was hot, and when you were going up those steps. So they moved some folks down into the first floor conference room and across to the Nanini building. I probably should mention that just in case you're looking for the clerk's office. That's normally on the third floor of the annex building that the assessor's office is also in.
Thank you, Janet. I'm glad you did mention it. I know it made the primary election a little more challenging than usual, but hats off to everybody in those buildings and those offices for just trudging through and making the best of the situation and providing amazing service to the community, as they always do.
It's absolutely, yes.
So the assessor is required to, by law, to discover, to list, and value all the property within the county. This happens to be one of the most vast counties in the country, right, Janet? But we don't have the greatest, I guess, condensation of, this whole real estate value, because we also have vast tracts that are actually withheld by the federal government, so they're not taxed.
Right. They do not receive a tax bill. We still place a value on those areas if we can, to the best of our ability. But we value all the other properties as well based on market value for the land, and the buildings are based off replacement cost, less depreciation of 1.5% per year, up to 50 years.
And that is, for the entire life. Yep. And that tax debt gets passed on to new owners, to families, And important to note, Janet, that the assessor does not make the laws.
Correct. Yeah. We do not, we don't write the laws for property tax administration or the tax How it's been written into the law is done by the Assembly and the Senate of the state of Nevada. So, talk to your legislature. We administer the law through the assessor's office.
And then, Janet, it's interesting, too, that the assessor does not, nor is the assessor mandated by municipal code. So that means particular city governments, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That's what that means, yes.
Yep. So you are independent, yet at the same time you are beholden to the laws that are prescribed by the state.
That is correct. We are.
All right. So with that in mind, right now property is assessed at 35% of its current appraised value. So people might want to know, is that unique to Nevada? Is that a standard system for the state? How is that derived?
Right. It's replacement cost new on buildings. And like I said, the land is derived from the market. So your vacant land, there's a land value. And then there's an improvement value, which is your buildings and extra feature. Could be a fence, any other improvement, a well, septic to the property, extra feature, and those combined total your assessed value. And combined is your taxable value, and then 35% of that is your assessed value. And we'll take that and multiply that by the tax rate set by the commission or the city council and approved by the tax commission, and that's how your the tax bill is calculated.
And so, Janet, there has been discussion lately about taxes in Elko County, mainly after the pay-as-you-go tax was retired, right? Is that something you want to talk about or explain?
Well, we didn't have much to do with it in the assessor's office. We are a separation of the tax rate. We do the value part. So the value by the rate times the rate equals your taxes, and that rate was where the pay-as-you-go and the school fund was being administered. So it was a little separate from the assessor's office. However, the overall tax bill was affected. And so, we need to be astute and understand how that happens. And so we were able to explain that to our taxpayers.
Because they shouldn't have seen an increase in a tax, right? It was just a different allocation.
Right. In the city of Elko, we didn't see a decrease, but the tax rate in the county, the rural tax rate, actually saw a decrease. So your taxes, if you lived in Spring Creek, they went down a little bit because of that. Mm-hmm. But for what I know, for 24-25, the tax rates aren't going to change a lot. So we should be somewhat similar to what we were last year.
All right. Thank you, Janet, for explaining that. And then there are also different districts, as you just described, out in the county versus what municipalities, Wells or Jackpot or even Carlin, West Wendover, they may have different distributions.
Yes. Yeah. They'll have their city entity that they distribute to.
Yeah.
When the rurals will have their rural entity, is not just that portion of the tax rate that is applied to your assessed value.
And our Elko County assessor, Janet Iribarne, is, I'm sure, probably part of that whole statewide. There's a statewide association of assessors, right, Janet? You guys get together all the time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The Nevada Assessors Association, right? And we gather twice a year. We have a business meeting, discuss issues and topics that affect all of us. It really brings us together. We're able to if we have an instance or a problem, we can call upon another person because we have already met them at the conference, and it really has opened up our discussion throughout the state of Nevada. So we understand what's happening here and how it affects our assessor in Clark County or in any other county across the state.
Yeah, that has to be really valuable, as you just suggested. I mean, to have that kind of relationship with the various 17 assessors. And again, from huge counties like Clark County, as you mentioned, in Las Vegas, to Washoe County, to the rural counties. How do we fare, I guess, Janet, would you compare? How do we do as far as, how's our tax rate? Do we pay less, fewer? Yeah.
I think it's about standard. I mean, there is a cap on the tax rate, so we're not able to exceed that. So I think a lot of us are pushing on that at high end of the cap rate from what I understand. Again, it's kind of not what the assessor does, but I think the other counties and across the state probably feel they're somewhat similar to us in the cities, and then the rural areas, maybe we have a little bit more. I'm not really sure.
Mm-hmm. And that tax cap that you refer to is a 3% cap, right? Statewide?
Oh, okay. The tax cap is different. It's a percentage. Oh, it's not a rate. Mm-hmm. So, there has been a lot of, maybe there's something to discuss. There has been a lot of confusion about the tax cap percentage. So it's not a rate. It has nothing to do with the tax rate that we've been discussing, the pay-as-you-go and all of that. Is completely separate. This is a percentage. So your taxes are calculated, and you get a tax bill. I'm going to say I got a tax bill last year, and it was $1,000. So this year, since this is my primary residence that I live in, it's $1,000 tax bill. My assessed value went up. There's been a cap put in place by the state of Nevada that my owner-occupied primary residence cannot go up but more than 3% per year. So my $1,000 tax bill will be $1,030 this coming year because my assessed value went up over. My assessed value, let's say, calculated a tax bill of $1,100. And so I am going to get an abatement of, that was probably, let's say my tax bill is, $1,100, and that would give me an abatement of $70. Sorry. So, but if I had not put in my 3% tax cap claim form, if I didn't file this with the tax assessor, and that's what I really am here today to talk about, is getting this tax cap claim form in, because if I did not file this tax cap claim form at 3%, I would have the alternative cap, which this year is 8%. And so the 8% cap would give me, my tax bill would be $1,080 versus $1,030. So a $50 difference. So it's about $50 per 1,000. So, you want to get the tax cap claim form back in if it's your primary residence. Because that will happen from year to year to year and could fluctuate based on your assessed value. Like if your assessed value, like I said, is going up, your tax bill the first calculation of the tax bill will go up. Maybe I should back up a little bit and say we do a tax calculation test basically. So we'll take your assessed value times the tax rate, and you'll have your tax bill, a traditional tax bill. And then we'll take that last year's tax bill, that $1,000, and we'll multiply it by the 3% if it's your owner occupied, and whichever is lower is what your tax bill will be. So right now that 3% is going to be lower. If you have a house on your property, obviously it's a residence, so there's a house there. And we know that the rate of inflation and the cost to replace has been up over the 8%. So we are going to see an abatement occur on every property that has a structure on it. And if this is your primary residence, or if it's a property that you rent that's under the HUD rental rate, or if it's a property that you own and a family member lives in it, you are eligible for the low cap percentage. It's not a rate, it's a percentage. And it's just, we are going to take that test. We're going to make that test. We're going to take what your taxes would have been if there was not a cap. And then we take your last year's taxes and cap it, and whichever is lower is what your tax bill will be for this year. This year's tax bills will be sent out in July, the first part of July. We're going to try to beat the rate increase by the U.S. Postal Service that occurs July 14th. So you should have your tax bill out in the mail mid-July. The first installment due date is August 19th. It's the third Monday in August. And if you have any questions when you get your bill, please, I hope that you would go out to our website and check there first. Look at your property, look for any errors, any discrepancies. We make mistakes. It's usually one of our mistakes. Look there, give us a call. We'll go through it with you step by step. If you need to get that tax cap claim form in, we'll help you get that in. The tax cap claim forms we have sent out they were due June 15th. I'm extending it to the 25th because we're going to close the rolls or start closing the rolls on the 26th of June this year. We'll be closing the 23-24 year. And Thursday, the 27th, it's closing a little early this year because the 30th is on a Sunday. So we'll be closing the rolls starting on the 27th, and they'll be shut down on the 28th. County business won't be operating on the 29th and 30th. Just a little reminder if you're trying to beat some deadlines for the fiscal year end. So.
Well, Janet, thank you. This is all. It is a lot, but it's really important. And everything that Janet was just describing, it happens every year. So it could be a cumulative. You may be listening thinking, oh, $50 isn't that much to me or my family. But accumulatively, it
Correct.
could really pile up. Mm-hmm. Now,
Yes.
Does that money go to the county or the state? Not that it matters that much, but it may matter.
Yeah, the abatement, it affects the county. It affects our bottom line. So our good fortune of not having to have that tax cap, on the other hand, it puts our fiscal affairs and our comptroller's office in hard spot to try to create a budget for the inflation that affects the departments as well.
Mm-hmm. And we do see that coming before county commissioners. Now, the reason, too, someone listening might think, well, I feel as though I've enjoyed a lower property tax for some time, not too concerned about this, but I think you alluded to it, Janet. Some changes are coming, right? I mean, we've all experienced inflation as a whole. Is it tied to that?
Well, I'm not really sure,
So we're not going to pay. Okay, so the assessed value is not, you're not taking into account inflation or other gross GDP, that kind of thing.
Oh,
yeah.
of course we do.
Okay.
Yes, obviously. And
Right.
that is a big part of various parts of the assessment world. I mean, our components of our property taxes, of the improvements, the structures, they're all based off of inflation. And the cost indexes that are applied to the personal property side is all affected by inflation. And obviously, the tax cap is a 3% tax cap on owner-occupied property, but the other cap is 8% generally if the cost indexes indicate so. But they have been as low as 3.6 over the years. So it's really another cap, but it is going to be 8% this year. So it's going to be 3% versus 8%. Why it's so important to get the 3%. If you deserve that 3%, you have to claim it. It's not given to you. You have to submit your claim form to the county. And, we do our best to get that information out. That's why I'm here. I want everyone to check. And you can go to the website at elkocountynv.net. And that's, elkocountynv.net. And if you go to the assessor, you can go to the records page. Fourth or fifth down is how to check your cap, how to file your cap form. If you can follow through on that, please do check it out. Like I said, till the 25th of June, I can't accept them any later than that, but please check it out. Time's running out. If you have any questions, that's what we're here for, the assessor's office. Please don't hesitate to call, but please check out the website first. All the information that we have is there.
All right. And then after the 25th, it would be too late. So we don't want anyone to miss out. A couple things to keep in mind. If you have a mortgage, it is likely that this is included in your mortgage payment, correct?
Right. Yeah. You can have your mortgage will impound the funds from your payments, your monthly payments. And then when time comes, they will submit the payment to the county treasurer for you. And that ensures that the taxes are paid and their investments, nice and healthy. So, they do that for if you set that up with your mortgage company. You have to set that up. It's
still your responsibility, though, right?
Yes,
to go in and check that cap.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
and
because they're not going to do that for you.
No, that's true. They are not going to do that for you generally. I think there's a few lenders, and especially the local lenders around town. I have to say thank you to you. Thank you to the realtors. They have gone back to their Rolodexes, if that's still a thing, their contact lists, and have reached out to their clients to get this form in. So, but local, mortgage companies maybe, but the big ones that we generally are using, they don't know this, and they're not going to reach out to you. So yeah, please do that for yourself. Check it out or give us a call.
Yep, it's a Nevada thing. We don't like to leave money sitting on the table.
That's right.
Yes. So there are 44,000 parcels of real property. That's land, homes, commercial buildings. So our assessor values personal property of about 2,300 businesses, ranging in size from casinos to one-person small businesses, some 4,800 mobile homes, which are taxed differently, and then aircraft, about 70 aircraft, any other personal property which is taxable. And the personal property taxes are collected by the treasurer's office. But so you work very closely as the assessor with this office.
That's correct. Yes, we do.
All right. So any other important deadlines coming up regarding either what we just discussed or general business, I guess, in the assessor's office? Janet?
Right. No, Lori, thank you for reminding me. I do want to talk about your business personal property declarations, which are set to print tomorrow and be out in the mail soon. They are sent out to all businesses. Businesses should get the declaration. If you don't and you are a business, you probably should reach out. But yeah, property, machinery and equipment, furniture and fixtures, tenant improvements, those kinds of things are taxable as well. You claim them yourself. They're based off of the acquisition cost. So you have to, and the year that you purchased them. So we depreciate and index all of it for you at our side. There is online access for filing this year. That's going to be something that we lost when we went back to our old system that we had to do for a couple of years. Now we're fully on our new GSA software. So access to filing your business machinery and equipment, furniture and fixtures will be available. The declaration will come out in the mail. On the declaration, we'll have an access code, and you will be able to go from the access code and change your mailing address, do all the things you need to do to maintain the accuracy of your account, and upload your spreadsheets or make the adjustments right there online. So hopefully that works good. It seems that the testing went really good, and has worked in other counties really well as well also. So I think that'll be great, and really look forward to doing that. But those will be out in the mail. They're due July 31st, and regardless if you get them or not. If you don't, give us a call. A lot of times the mailing addresses are old, or you've moved, or hopefully someday in the assessor's office we can move to an email system, but currently it is still by U.S. mail. And like I said, the postage is going up, which 73 cents a parcel makes it expensive to mail out vast amounts of mail and not have anyone respond. So
yes, definitely.
we want everyone to be aware that letters and mail from the assessor's office should be addressed. If you see something from the Elko County in general, and especially the assessor's office, I can assure that it's important. And if it says to call, if you have any questions, we always will take your call, obviously, and or you can respond by email. And if you feel comfortable doing that, that's become a lot more popular. And we will love to chat kind of through an email process. We don't have an online chat, but we can take care of your needs online.
Now, this equipment reporting business, this is nothing new either, right?
So no, it's not. It's been in the works for as long as I can remember, which I've been at the county a long time. Since the I think late 70s or the early 80s.
All right. So it's nothing new. It could take, it'd be as easy as looking around your workplace and seeing what you've got going there. As you said, filling out a form. Obviously, larger entities probably have professional accountants and others who are already on top of this kind of thing, but it certainly doesn't hurt to make sure, because you don't want to get an audit, right? I mean, that's what could happen. And the audits come from the state, for example, right?
Correct. Yes. We have an audit process in the works. Yes. And it isn't It's not fun for the taxpayer, and it's not fun for us either. We have a lot of work to do on both sides, and it's a 20% penalty if you are caught in an audit where you haven't filed that equipment, and it's something that I guess is necessary, but it's something I don't like to do. But I like the honor system, but sometimes it's just you don't understand, that the taxpayer doesn't understand, or I don't understand your business, and it's just a way to get a little bit more familiar and work the kinks out, so we get it going straight going forward. We all understand what needs to be done.
And Janet, I think you used an important word too in this process, which is depreciation. I mean, that's a healthy thing in a business, right? That helps you plan for the future.
Yeah,
when you can depreciate your business, you can depreciate things you bought. You're not going to pay as much tax from year to year.
That's correct, right?
Yes.
And they do it at the IRS level as well. So, depreciation is important for a business for sure.
All right. Again, taxes, it's what helps make the world go round as far as the world we live in, paving our streets, and both the city and the county operate enterprise funds in which we hope that users can really help to pay for the amenities that we all enjoy. But certainly there are things, fire and police, all of our emergency services. I mean, these are taxes that go into supporting our governmental operations.
Absolutely. And the schools.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though we lost the pay as you go, it's a big source of revenue is through the tax base, through Elko County. So, it does, a big portion goes to the schools still. And, all the other entities and the fire district, that's the other big, piece that we really need here. And it's, I think the county's managed it really well. I'm really proud of them.
Yeah, and if you think about it, the taxes being like a big chocolate bar, and maybe it's a Hershey's and it's got little squares, and you just break off different chunks and it goes to different entities, right?
Yeah, yes. That's true. It's a good analogy.
But everybody pays into that big chocolate bar, I guess, if you will. So please do reach out to Janet Iribarne or anyone in her office, 775. Oh, that's the treasurer's office. I've got you at 775-738-5217.
That's correct.
Okay. You can also email, please. The website is super friendly. That's the last time Janet was on, just a few weeks ago. I jumped on the county website to check elkocountynv.net because I thought, oh boy, I want to see. I kind of was excited to see maybe I will get some money back, and it wasn't like that at all. I was paying the correct taxes, and I was happy to do it. Tax cap claim forms are available, and the instructions are really clear online, Janet. So it took just minutes.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you tried it. And yes, and all your information for your property is available. The property sketch, all the information. We're really proud of that. So the maps, check it out. Aerials, you got lat long, you've got a lot of other options that really don't affect your assessed value, but we put that out there just for the ease of the site. So.
Yep, definitely. Again, important reminder, the June 25th deadline, that is the hard deadline, on that tax cap claim form. Make sure you're paying the correct assessment, that 3% cap that applies, and for an owner-occupied primary resident. And don't forget to check the exemptions, too, because there are numerous categories for exemptions.
Oh, right. Absolutely, yes. There's surviving spouse. If your spouse has passed, you need to get in and sign up for that death certificate. Is what we need. If you're a veteran or if you're a disabled veteran, we bring in your rating from the VA, and we'll get you set up. If you're a veteran, bring in your DD 214 and be able to show that you're a bona fide resident. Your driver's license is the best. We like that. And we'll get you set up immediately for service, a benefit. That's one of the great things that our office gets to do. So we love doing that.
Yeah, that's nice. Those are important to acknowledge because, again, those exemptions they're privileges. They've been provided for by lawmakers. A lot of consideration went into them, and it's because we value various, segments of the population, whether it is a senior citizen or someone who is widowed, someone who is served, their blindness, their various disabilities, right?
That's correct, yes.
So we acknowledge all of those. And again, if you are deserving of an exemption and would like one, please ask for that and make sure that you reach out to the assessor's office and know that request will also be handled with care and confidence and in confidentiality.
Sure, yes,
Yes.
of course. And, all the information is also available on the website. So if you have any just other questions, you can't remember what you heard here, go out to the website, check out that exemption tab, and it has the information about each type of personal exemption that you are eligible for, perhaps.
Yep, it's all important. And again, it's about saving money. It is about paying, your fair share, because if everybody pays their fair share, then we will all benefit with this quality of life that we've come to enjoy. So, and we can help afford these opportunities for other people too. Well, Janet, we went through a lot today. Did we get to everything you were hoping to?
I checked everything off my list here, Lori, so thank you so much. Yes, we did. But if anybody has questions, obviously, please don't hesitate. Please call.
Janet, thank you so much for what you do
Thank
and for
you,
leading
Lori.
your office. Janet Iribarne is our Elko County assessor, and she is located right here in downtown Elko in the county courthouse. And you can reach out to them at any time, find them on email, but please do check out all these things that we've talked about today. If you're a business owner, your equipment reporting deadlines, that's coming right up. And then, of course, the big one is the tax cap claim form, which takes just minutes to assess online, or give them a call, 775-738-5217. Especially if you're anticipating getting a tax bill in the mail, don't wait until it's too late, because you can't go back in and change it. You need to do it before the 25th.
That's right. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you,
Awesome.
listeners. Yes, thank you so much for joining us for today's program. On behalf of Elko County today, here on Elko Live on KELK.